Restore Britain is a right-wing nationalist populist movement for patriots, British patriots, to take back their country. And the man leading the charge is Rupert Lowe. Now, Rupert Lowe posted this today. Okay, it was a statement from the Grape Gang Inquiry. So as you guys all know, you probably already know this already, there are groups of Pakistani grooming gangs that have trafficked and abused, tortured, and raped young British girls for years. Multiple dozens of girls for years in the UK. Nothing happened. Nothing happened as a result. Like, in terms of, I'm not saying nothing happened to the girls. The girls were horrifically abused. Nothing happened to the perpetrators for years. And the UK law enforcement knew this. So this is an update about that Rupert Lowe posted. So they inquired, and then they asked a girl, and a girl gave testimony, and they have evidence to corroborate that testimony. But the survivor's violent gang rape and abuse began at the age of 12. She was raped multiple times per day over many years. The rapes were filmed and were used as blackmail. The survivor has stated that multiple police officers were active perpetrators. Money was exchanged openly, and this destroyed her ability and willingness to seek help. Police vehicles were used to traffic her, and some of the abuse events were called cop nights. The extreme pain she suffered included filmed torture in places called red rooms. The torture included waterboarding and strangulation by rope. Distressingly, she was raped by a dog, filmed, and forced to rewatch the footage as the men placed bets. The coordination of the specific type of abuse were predominantly perpetrated by Pakistani men. During the specific period of abuse, she witnessed the murder of at least 3 girls, one of whom was allegedly killed as a punishment for speaking to the police. Agencies made a number of referrals to the National Referral Mechanism. She received positive grounds in 2018, but was not made aware of this status until 2021. She finally received conclusive grounds in 2023. The survivor is understandably wary of reporting the matter to the police, so the panel is seeking an urgent meeting with the Home Secretary, including the survivor, to ensure that the government is fully apprised of the seriousness of this evidence and to discuss the immediate steps required to ensure the survivor's protection, to preserve evidence, and to secure justice. Our overriding priority is the safety of survivors and the pursuit of truth and justice without fear or favor. We believe, along with the survivor herself, that the British people deserve to finally know what has been inflicted on innocent young girls in British towns and cities for many, many decades. So it is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane, chat. Absolutely insane. I really do think it is the most horrifying thing I've read coming out of the UK. So to summarize, okay, a 12-year-old British girl, okay? A 12-year-old British girl was raped multiple times, daily for years, okay? For years, she was multiple times per day, okay? Multiple times per day for years. Filmed for blackmail. Trafficked, and she was trafficked in police cars for cop nights where officers also paid to join in. She was tortured in red rooms, waterboarded, strangled, raped by a dog, and as the men placed bets and forced her to rewatch, and saw 3 girls murdered in front of her, once for speaking to the police. The police didn't just fail, they participated, enabled, and branded her a liar. This is state-sanctioned child torture. No wonder they haven't done anything about the grooming gangs. Like, seriously, deport them all. Deport all of these people. Death penalty for every complicit officer and official. Okay, no more British daughters sacrificed on the altar of diversity. And the truth is so much uglier than we realize. If this doesn't wake the UK up to the existential threat posed by unchecked immigration from the third world, nothing will. So, deport all the third worlders. I don't care. They don't belong in the UK. They're not British. Deport all the third worlders. Deport the illegal ones. Deport even many legal ones. And the ones who stay are the ones who want to assimilate to British culture, to the British customs, to their patriots who love Britain. Fine, they can stay. Every society always had a minority of foreigners. That's fine. But legal third worlders who do not conform, who are not Christian, who are perpetrating craziness in the streets and in the communities in British towns and cities, get them out. And illegals, definitely get them out. And the ones who perpetrated this, I want them executed. They need to be executed. And we need to bring back public executions to show that we do not tolerate grave injustice and evil. These kind of atrocities should not happen anywhere in civilized society. But Nothing happens to the perpetrators of these horrendous, heinous, violent, disgusting crimes because of racism. It's going to be perceived as racist. That's why the UK took down that ad where it showed a black man, a black guy harassing a white woman on the bus because it was racist. And they're more concerned about the perceived racism that happens versus this kind of atrocity where girls are being brutally raped and tortured daily for years, where police officers are complicit and participating in it. The UK, they need a restoration. And so I'm really glad for Restore Britain, but it is horrifying what is happening in the UK. And by the way, this is happening a lot. This kind of crime and child trafficking and torture and rape is happening a lot in America too. America is the #1 country for child pornography consumption. America is deeply, right now, in America, there is grave evil and grave sin happening. The West is being completely overrun. And while, like we just reacted to the shoe on head video, all these leftists are concerting all their effort, focusing all their energy into trying to destroy and cancel cosplay streamers for not avowedly and openly supporting ICE and saying, seemingly supporting ICE and not saying F ICE. That's what they care about. But they don't care about this. They literally do not care about this. The leftists, the activists, they have nothing to say about the girls who are being brutally raped and tortured because, why? Because the perpetrators were brown. And we can't be racist. Like, there is a deep level of evil, and there is a level of evil that for us, it is so, we can't tolerate this anymore. I'll just say that. We cannot tolerate this kind of evil. Not only the atrocities and the crimes committed by these perpetrators, but by the leftists who excuse or ignore all of this because it'll prove or disprove their racial narratives. It is unbelievable. It is unbelievable. Like, and we're the misogynists. We're the sexists for caring about women who are deeply, deeply brutalized. Rupert Lowe said this. Our Rape Gang Inquiry released a statement this morning detailing the most brutal suffering anyone could imagine on an innocent young woman. If you have not read it, I urge you to go and digest it. People need to understand what has happened and is still happening. I sat for 2 hours listening to that brave woman. It was one of the most harrowing experiences of my life. Before our hearings, I did not think it was possible for one human to inflict such evil onto another human. It is. We have requested a meeting with the Home Secretary so that Mahmoud can hear what we had just heard, so that she can finally understand. I sincerely hope she accepts. The individual who came forward is amongst the bravest women I have ever met. Just remarkable courage that I hold such respect for. Every single person who has come forward to tell their story is a hero in my eyes, all so that others don't suffer what they did. It takes a very special individual to do that. It's so insane. It, like, the kind of like barbarism and evil that we're dealing with, it is absolutely insane. Like, my heart breaks. My heart breaks for these girls. Like, they don't have to go through this. They shouldn't have to go through this. There's this British guy here, Lewis B. Rendell, who said this, and I thought he was very poignant in his commentary here. This is the sort of testimony that should shatter the complacency of every decent Englishman still clinging to the illusion that multiculturalism has been an unalloyed success. A British girl, starting at age 12, subjected to daily gang rapes, filmed for blackmail, trafficked in police vehicles during so-called cop nights, tortured in red rooms with waterboarding and strangulations, raped by a dog while her abusers bet on the footage, and forced to watch it all again. At least 3 girls murdered in front of her, one for the crime of speaking to the police. And the coordination? Predominantly men of Pakistani heritage. Not Asians, not diverse communities, Pakistani men, many of whom brought with them cultural attitudes that treat our native British girls as disposable meat. Worse still, police officers were active perpetrators. Cash changed hands openly. The very men sworn to protect her were queuing up to abuse her. This isn't isolated criminality. This is a pattern. Rotherham, Rochdale, Telford, Oldham, now confirmed again in this independent inquiry led by Rupert Lowe, Esther Graham Smith and heroic Sammy Woodhouse. Decades of it enabled by a state apparatus terrified of being called racist, so it sacrificed its own daughters on the altar of community cohesion. The British state knew, social services knew, police knew, politicians knew, and they did nothing, or worse, they participated because confronting the ethnic and religious dimension would have disturbed the polite multicultural fiction. Islam doesn't get a free pass here when large-scale organized sexual predation on non-Muslim girls correlates so starkly with men from specific cultural and religious backgrounds. Pretending otherwise is not tolerance, it's cowardice bordering on complicity. We owe these girls and every native British child still at risk more than thoughts and prayers. No more excuses, no more not all. The not all brigade can sawed off when thousands of our girls lived here have been destroyed. If this doesn't wake the country up to the existential threat posed by unchecked immigration and the deliberate demographic replacement of the native population, then nothing will. The British people deserve the truth, however ugly, and we deserve leaders with the spine to act on it. So true. That's just money. That's just he hit the nail on the head, and I really hope British patriots wake up. I really hope that the next generations of Brits wake up to the reality of what's going on in their communities, because we don't have to tolerate this. We really do not have to tolerate this kind of atrocity so that we can continue to sustain, quote unquote, this ruse of multiculturalism and diversity. Multiculturalism, diversity, it does not benefit anyone. It does not contribute to society. It actually only benefits opportunists, invaders, and horrific crime perpetrators like these Pakistani men. That's the only people diversity and multiculturalism benefits. And so I don't know if you guys saw this, but it was 2 a.m., 2:30 a.m. in the UK, and there's a migrant staring at her through her door, okay? Can you imagine? Oh, you pay. What's up? Thanks for the $25 super chat. I appreciate it. You didn't say anything, but I appreciate it. You pay. Appreciate it. God bless you. So here, look at this video. Oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah, he's just
crazy.
Like, what the frick, dude? Imagine waking up at 2:30 in the morning to knocking at your door, and then you see who it is, and it's just a freaking Afghan migrant. A third world migrant just staring at you, just 2:30 in the morning, man. This is why we have the Second Amendment in America. What the frick, dude? We don't have to live like this. The UK does not have to live like this. And look at him, he's a freaking, like, he's definitely on drugs or something, man. He's just lifeless. Soulless eyes just staring at you straight at 2:30 in the morning. Bro, what the frick? And the crazy thing is, the UK police barely does anything about it. And the fact that British people cannot protect themselves from people like this is absolute insanity. I bet you if they opened the door and they defended themselves and pushed them off their property, the British woman and the man who reported this would have gotten arrested. Because that is where we are right now in the UK, where they arrest you for racism, but they don't arrest the actual crazies like this person. It is insane. Absolutely insane. So anyways, there's this meme that happened. This is a great meme. Labour Britain, Green Britain, Reform Britain, Restore Britain. So all of these parties, whether it's left or right, conservative, liberal, whatever, in the UK, they have facilitated the displacement of British people, and they have facilitated the mass migration of third worlders into Britain. And I really do believe it's gonna take Restore Britain. It's gonna take Britain to restore Britain, Rupert Lowe, to save Britain. Gotta take it back, man. Art imitates reality. Bro. Incredible. My friend Drew said this. It's actually crazy because you would think this is right-wing propaganda, but it's just actually real. This is reality. And reality is radicalizing because this is the reality for so many people. And the crazy thing is, like, people still try to be polite and nice and all this stuff while this kind of craziness is happening, not only in society writ large, but on their doorsteps, man. Holy crap. If I woke up to this, I'd be like, dude, frick, like, get out. And so here's the thing. Actually, no, I responded to this, actually. There was more news. Yeah, like, the UK really is a horror story. A paramedic attended a migrant hotel. They were jumped on by an illegal migrant, assault and spat on, etc. So there's a paramedic who was called to a migrant hotel to help, and then they were jumped on, assaulted, spat on. Horrific. And these migrants can't even treat paramedics who are there to help them. They can't even treat them well. An absolute crap show. Here's another video. Ring camera footage of a migrant stalking a woman back to her home and trying to break in. If only she had used racist slurs on social media, then the police would have come immediately. Look at this. This is this migrant stalking a woman. What the frick, dude? Oh my gosh. Holy crap, dude. These are the kind of people you want in your country? Is it racist to want these people out of your country? To secure the safety of the next generation and the young women and young men? What the frick? When you think he's done, he just comes back running again. Oh my gosh, dude. No, get these people out. Get these people out. This is horrific. I wouldn't want this on me or my family, my friends, but I certainly wouldn't want this on any vulnerable woman or young girl who's being stalked and harassed by these third worlders, man. And the crazy thing is the police doesn't do anything about it. They don't do anything. But instead, if you say racist, anything racist on the internet, they come knocking at your door, the police is there immediately. They arrest you for racist memes. But while you have third worlders trying to bash down your door to rape you and harass you further as they stalk you incessantly, where's the police? Where's the UK law enforcement? Nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. And it is no surprise that these same people who are arresting British people for racist memes and sexist memes are the same ones who are participating in the Pakistani grooming gangs. It is truly, truly unbelievable. And the best propaganda we have is literally just showing people what this country used to be like. Look, this is what the UK used to be like. Quaint, beautiful, orderly, civilized, high class. This is what the UK used to look like, chat. This. Three-piece suits, men, women, dressing modestly, with class, etiquette, beautiful buildings, having lunch across, like on the river, safe, orderly, civilized, and children walking around, having a good time with their family, playing at the fountain, safe, secure. Now what does London look like? Now what does London look like? London looks like a third world hellhole, where most parts of London look like freaking Baghdad or something, okay? And it's unbelievable. I can't believe the UK was willing to trade this for Pakistani grooming gangs and migrants staring through your door at 2:30 a.m. And I get it. There's a lot of British people who didn't like it. The British people didn't want it. But the elected officials facilitated it and allowed for the migration of millions and millions of third worlders into their country. And so it is imperative, absolutely imperative, that the British people restore Britain, vote for Rupert Lowe, and to vote to reclaim their country and to mainstream remigration, to get the people who don't belong in your country out. This is not hateful. It is not hateful to deport people who are unwilling to assimilate to your country and to deport people who are actively destroying your country, raping your young girls, and committing acts of horror and terror on the streets that were only traditionally found in horror films. Nothing hateful about that. Don't let anyone gaslight you. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Because these same people who are yelling in your faces about how racist you are the same people, like I said, who will wish death upon you. They will wish you to be kirked. That's what they say. Pay no attention to the crazies on the internet who will guilt trip you, who will emotionally blackmail you. Pay no attention to them. Instead, stay the course, reclaim your country. Britain, we are by you, we are for you. I love Britain. And when I go to London, I want to see British people. I want to see a Christian revival and restoration of Britain. That's what I want. That's what a lot of people want. Stay the course. And this applies not only to the UK, but to America and to every first world country that loves Jesus Christ and loves their country, who wants to preserve the richness of their heritage for themselves and their posterity. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with wanting to preserve your country and to reject the ills and the lies of multiculturalism. So please pray for the UK. Pray for the UK. Pray for what's going on in the first world, because it is unbelievable. the kind of things that are happening. And we need to stand up. We need to stand up. We need to stand firm because, we got to save our countries. We got to save the West. We got to save the West.